Rebuilding your life, whether after failure, stagnation, or simply a moment of realization, begins not with external changes, but with one powerful internal act, a decision. Not just any decision, but a firm, intentional, and courageous one. Real change doesn't happen by accident. It isn't something that gently arrives when conditions are perfect. It begins the moment you stop waiting and start choosing. Most people remain stuck not because they lack talent, resources, or time, but because they haven't truly decided to change. They flirt with the idea of transformation. They talk about goals and dreams, but they delay action, waiting for that mythical perfect moment. But here's the truth, that moment never comes. The weather will never always be clear, the doubts will never fully disappear, and life will always present reasons to hesitate. The people who grow, who elevate, who rebuild are the ones who decide anyway. One decision, one clear and conscious turning point, can realign your entire life. It could be the decision to stop tolerating mediocrity, to leave behind destructive habits, to pursue a passion you've buried for years, or simply to begin again. It doesn't need applause or permission. It just needs to be made with conviction. History is filled with individuals who rose from difficult circumstances, not because luck smiled on them, but because they reached a moment where indecision was no longer acceptable. That moment becomes a dividing line, life before and life after. Think about those who have built something remarkable, often from nothing. The common denominator isn't that they had every advantage, it's that they decided. And then, they committed. True power does not lie in your background, education, or environment. It lies in your ability to choose. You have that power right now, in this very moment. The power to say, no more waiting, no more excuses, no more drifting. The power to step into a new identity, one that is forged not by external approval, but by internal certainty. A decisive mind is a focused mind, and a focused mind becomes a magnet for progress. Once you decide, life begins to respond. You start noticing opportunities you were blind to before. You begin acting with more clarity and courage. People treat you differently because you carry yourself differently. And each action you take reinforces your decision, adding weight and momentum to the path you've chosen. But the decision must be total, not partial, not hesitant. You can't rebuild your life with one foot in and one foot out. Like burning the ships upon arrival, your decision must leave no room for retreat. This is not about grand announcements or dramatic gestures. It's about the quiet, firm resolve that says, this is who I will become, and nothing will stop me from becoming it. So if you feel stuck, if you know you're capable of more but haven't moved, don't wait for the stars to align. Decide. Decide that you're done being defined by fear or the past. Decide that your future deserves more from you. And once you've decided fully and unapologetically, act. Every step forward will become easier because it's no longer a question of if, only a matter of when. This is how rebuilding begins. Not with luck, not with waiting, but with a decision made in clarity and followed with conviction. And that decision is yours to make today. Resilience isn't born from smooth sailing or perfect circumstances. It is forged in the fire of challenge, shaped through trial, and tempered by failure. The path to greatness is rarely a straight, well-lit road. More often, it's a winding trail marked by setbacks, disappointments, and moments of doubt. But it's precisely through these moments that resilience is born. Those who reach the highest levels of success didn't get there because life made it easy. They got there because they refused to quit when it got hard. Life will test you. It will knock you down when you least expect it. It will ask again and again, how badly do you want it? And in those moments, most people give up. They see a closed door as a dead end, a failure as final, a setback as the end of the story. But resilient people see something different. They see the lesson. They see the opportunity to adapt, grow, and return stronger. Where others retreat, the resilient regroup and reload. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. It is the necessary resistance that strengthens your mental and emotional muscles. Think about the strongest people you admire. Those who built empires, overcame loss, changed history. None of them had an easy journey. What made them extraordinary wasn't that they avoided hardship. It's that they persisted through it. They faced closed doors, collapsed plans, and moments of utter despair. But instead of breaking, they bent. They adjusted their strategy, strengthened their mindset, and kept going. Resilience is a decision as much as it is a trait. It's the choice to rise again when staying down feels easier. It's the mental toughness to say, "This will not define me," and the emotional stamina to turn pain into purpose. Resilient people don't run from adversity. They face it. They don't pretend the road is smooth. They lace up tighter shoes and keep climbing. Each challenge you face is an opportunity, not to be comfortable, but to become capable. Every time you push through difficulty, you're not just solving a problem, you're training your mind. You're proving to yourself that you can endure, that you can rise, that you can build a future, not in spite of the storm, but because you walked through it. There's a saying, the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. That applies to you too. If life feels heavy, if the road ahead looks uncertain, remember, this isn't the end. It's a chapter. And in this chapter, your character is being carved. Every setback is shaping you. Every disappointment is refining you. What looks like a roadblock today could become your greatest breakthrough tomorrow, if you don't give up. The truth is, everyone falls. What matters is who gets up and keeps going. The strongest people in the world are not immune to failure, they're fueled by it. They treat obstacles like training, pain like a signal for growth, and challenges like invitations to become more. And so can you. So when the world feels heavy, when failure knocks again, choose resilience. Not because it's easy, but because you were built for more. Endure, adapt, persist, and know that every step you take forward through difficulty is one step closer to the greatness you're capable of. Self-belief is not arrogance. It is the cornerstone of personal transformation. It's not about thinking you're better than others. It's about trusting that you are capable of becoming better than you were yesterday. Every meaningful change begins with belief. Belief that you can grow, that your efforts matter, and that your dreams are worth pursuing. Without it, even the clearest goals and most detailed plans falter. With it, the most improbable outcomes start to look achievable. Your belief in yourself sets the ceiling for what you allow yourself to attempt, to endure, and ultimately, to achieve. It begins with the voice inside your head, the quiet narrator of your life that speaks before the world does. That voice either says, "I can," or "I can't." And whichever one you choose to listen to will shape the trajectory of your life. If you constantly feed yourself thoughts of limitation, your actions will reflect hesitation, fear, and self-sabotage. But if you begin each day affirming your strength, your value, and your potential, you build a powerful internal foundation. Over time, this foundation becomes unshakable. Self-belief isn't built in a single moment of inspiration. It's forged through daily decisions, through the act of showing up again and again, especially on the days when motivation is absent and doubt is loud. It's built when you take a risk, when you try again after failure, when you dare to speak up, when you push forward through discomfort. Every small act of courage becomes proof that you can trust yourself, and that trust becomes momentum. Confidence doesn't arrive after success. It often comes before it. Believing in yourself enough to take the first step is what creates the conditions for success to emerge. It's what helps you persist when results don't show right away. It's what keeps your head high after rejection, and what helps you learn instead of retreating. Belief is the bridge between your current reality and your future potential. And the beautiful truth is, no one can give it to you and no one can take it away. It's a choice you make every day. Many people never realize their potential because they doubt themselves before they even begin. They wait for someone else to validate them, for the perfect moment to appear, or for fear to disappear. But that moment may never come. And so, the key is to act anyway, to believe before the world believes, to affirm your vision even when no one else sees it yet. Speak to yourself with conviction. Start your mornings with words that build you up. I am capable. I am resilient. I am enough. These aren't empty mantras, they're mental anchors that stabilize you when life shakes your confidence. The more you speak them, the more your mind starts to align with them. And when your internal narrative supports you, your external results begin to follow. Doubt is paralyzing. It freezes progress and makes you second-guess every decision. But belief, genuine, grounded belief, is energizing. It sparks action, invites growth, and builds resilience. You don't need to know exactly how things will unfold. You just need to trust that you're strong enough to figure it out as you go. So believe, fully, fiercely, and unapologetically, not someday. Now. Because every step forward starts with a simple declaration, I believe I can. Purpose is what transforms motion into meaning. It is the compass that points you toward who you are meant to become. Without it, you may still work hard, but your energy scatters, your effort lacks cohesion, and your days feel repetitive rather than fulfilling. With purpose, however, every action, every challenge, every step begins to align into a clear path forward. Purpose doesn't always come as a lightning bolt or a dramatic moment of insight. Often, it's a quiet conviction that builds over time, the deep understanding that your life matters and that you are here to contribute something specific and meaningful. A definite purpose gives direction. It informs your decisions, clarifies your priorities, and strengthens your ability to say no to distractions. It helps you identify what matters most so you can let go of what doesn't. Without purpose, people drift. They chase what's urgent instead of what's important, reacting to life rather than shaping it. But with purpose, you live by design, not by default. Each morning, you wake up not just to survive the day, but to move closer to something that truly matters to you. Purpose also brings endurance. When life gets hard, and it will, purpose keeps you grounded. It helps you push through discomfort, discouragement, and delay. You stop seeing setbacks as signs to quit and begin seeing them as part of the process. Pain becomes part of your mission, and your mission gives your pain meaning. This shift in mindset changes everything. You begin to interpret hardship not as punishment, but as preparation. You realize that your struggle is shaping you for the very thing you've been called to do. Consider how powerful it is to reaffirm your purpose daily. Just as a ship recalibrates its course based on its destination, your mind must continually reconnect with your why to avoid being thrown off track. Start each morning with a moment of reflection. What am I working toward? Who am I becoming? These questions pull your thoughts and actions into alignment. They give your choices weight and your work significance. Purpose also acts as a filter. When you know your mission, you stop chasing every opportunity that crosses your path. You stop wasting energy on people or projects that don't align with your values. You conserve your focus for what actually moves you forward. And that focused energy compounds over time. It builds momentum. You may not move fast at first, but you'll move in the right direction. And eventually, those small, purpose-driven steps turn into a legacy. Purpose isn't just for the extraordinary. It's for anyone willing to live intentionally. You don't need fame, wealth, or a grand platform to live with purpose. You simply need clarity and commitment. Whether you're raising a family, starting a business, mentoring a young person, or volunteering in your community, your purpose gives your life shape and substance. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. When you live with purpose, you don't just count the days, you make the days count. Your work gains depth, your relationships gain sincerity, and your life gains momentum. So reaffirm it often, write it down, speak it aloud, let it shape your thoughts and your schedule. Because when your actions align with your deepest convictions, you don't just feel successful, you feel fulfilled. And that is the real victory. Passion is the spark that turns discipline from a burden into a blessing. It's the emotional fuel that makes consistent effort not only sustainable but deeply meaningful. Without passion, discipline can feel rigid, just another list of rules to follow. But when passion is present, even the hardest tasks become purposeful. The early mornings, the sacrifices, the long hours, none of it feels wasted because it's tied to something you care about deeply. Passion transforms struggle into energy and routine into ritual. It gives your work soul. It's the why that keeps you going when the how gets hard. When you're passionate about something, you don't have to be pushed. You're pulled. Your focus sharpens. Your energy rises. You stop seeing effort as something to endure and begin seeing it as something to embrace. The fire inside of you burns brighter than the pressure outside. Passion gives you a reason to persist. It makes obstacles seem smaller and solutions more reachable. That's why passionate people often outlast and outperform those with more talent but less heart. Passion also breeds creativity. It opens the mind to new ideas, new approaches, and new perspectives. When you care deeply, you're not afraid to think differently or take bold action. You're willing to experiment, to innovate, to step outside the norm. Passionate people aren't content with good enough. They aim for excellence, not out of perfectionism, but because their mission deserves their best. This mindset keeps their work alive, evolving, and impactful. But perhaps the most beautiful quality of passion is that it's contagious. When someone cares deeply about their work, you can feel it. It radiates through their words, their actions, and their presence. Passion has a way of lifting others, inspiring them to raise their own standards and believe in what's possible. Leaders with passion don't just manage, they mobilize. Parents with passion don't just guide, they ignite belief. Passionate educators don't just teach, they transform. In every field, in every community, passion is what makes a message stick and a legacy last. People often talk about burnout, and yes, it's real. But burnout doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from doing too much of what doesn't matter. Passion protects you from this. It acts like a compass, reminding you why you started, even when the path gets foggy. When your work aligns with your heart, exhaustion is replaced by fulfillment. Passion doesn't drain you, it fuels you. It reminds you that your efforts are worth something, that you're building something, and that you're becoming someone stronger in the process. If you're struggling with discipline, don't start by forcing more structure. Start by reconnecting with your passion. Ask yourself what excites you, what moves you, what breaks your heart, and compels you to act. Your passion may not always be loud or dramatic. It might be quiet, steady, and deeply personal, but it is always powerful. Once you reconnect with it, discipline becomes easier. You no longer need motivation from the outside because you're driven from within. So let passion be your guide. Let it light the path when things get dark. Let it remind you that what you're doing matters, not just to you, but to others. And when challenges come, as they always do, remember, you're not just pushing through, you're pushing towards something that sets your soul on fire. And that fire, when tended with care and purpose, will not burn you out. It will make you shine. Continuous learning isn't a luxury reserved for scholars or students. It's a necessity for anyone who wants to grow, adapt, and succeed in a constantly changing world. High achievers across every generation have one common thread. They never stop learning. They read, reflect, listen, ask questions, and seek out new knowledge every single day. This commitment isn't driven by pressure. It's fueled by curiosity and a deep desire to evolve. Learning isn't just a phase you pass through. It's a daily discipline that keeps your mind sharp, your spirit open, and your future full of possibilities. Those who embrace lifelong learning develop a mindset that says, I'm never done growing. They don't fear change. They prepare for it. They don't cling to what they know. They challenge it. That's because true learning isn't just about acquiring facts. It's about expanding how you think, solve problems, and approach life. When you commit to learning, you give yourself an edge. You stay flexible when others get stuck. You adapt while others resist. You grow while others coast. It's not just about being smart. It's about being willing to stay humble and hungry. In a world that rewards speed and innovation, staying mentally still is a risk you can't afford. Technology evolves, markets shift, social dynamics change, but those who commit to learning stay relevant, no matter what comes. Whether it's picking up a new skill, exploring a different viewpoint, or revisiting a timeless principle, learning keeps you agile. And agility, more than any other trait, is what makes someone unstoppable over time. The more you know, the better decisions you make. The more you understand, the more confident you feel. That's the true power of learning. It multiplies your ability to respond wisely and act decisively. And let's be clear, this isn't just about textbooks or classrooms. Learning happens everywhere. It's in the books you read, the people you speak to, the podcasts you hear, the mistakes you reflect on. It's in the habit of asking, what did I learn today? Before you go to sleep at night. The most powerful learners treat life itself as their university. They understand that every conversation, every challenge, and every success has something to teach them. But the real magic of continuous learning is that it builds resilience. When you learn every day, you train your brain to stay open in hard times. You become the kind of person who doesn't crumble when plans fail. Instead, you adapt, regroup, and grow stronger. That mindset, the one that says, this is an opportunity to grow, is what separates those who thrive from those who give up. Resilience isn't just emotional toughness, it's also intellectual flexibility, and that comes from learning. Remember, your brain is a muscle. Use it, and it becomes stronger. Ignore it, and it stagnates. Learning is the workout that builds mental strength and long-term success. The journey to your next breakthrough starts with a single question. What can I learn today? The more often you ask it, the more unstoppable you become. A positive attitude isn't just a feel-good emotion. It's a superpower that shapes your entire life experience. It determines how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately, what kind of outcomes you create. While many people believe positivity means ignoring hardship or pretending everything is fine, the truth is much deeper. A truly positive attitude doesn't deny life's difficulties. It rises above them. It acknowledges pain, but refuses to be defined by it. It sees setbacks, but looks for solutions. And it faces uncertainty, but chooses to respond with calm courage instead of fear. Your mindset acts like a lens through which you interpret every event. With a negative lens, even small challenges feel overwhelming. With a positive one, even major obstacles can be viewed as opportunities to grow. That shift in perception makes all the difference. Life will throw storms your way, but your attitude determines whether you get drowned by the rain or whether you learn to dance in it. In this way, positivity becomes a tool for emotional resilience. It gives you the strength to keep going, not because everything is easy, but because you've trained your mind to focus on what's possible rather than what's painful. Gratitude is the foundation of this superpower. When you make it a habit to focus on what's going right, even in the middle of struggle, you shift your energy. You stop obsessing over what you lack and start appreciating what you have. This doesn't just improve your mood, it rewires your brain. Research shows that regular gratitude practices increase mental clarity, reduce anxiety, and strengthen overall well-being. Just by listing 3 things you're thankful for each morning, You train your brain to look for the good. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Curiosity is another ally of a positive mindset. When things don't go your way, ask, what can this teach me? Rather than, why is this happening to me? That one question turns frustration into learning. It helps you move from victim to student and eventually to a leader. This kind of mental flexibility builds long-term success. It opens your mind to new perspectives and strengthens your ability to adapt when life doesn't follow your plans. Optimism, too, plays a critical role. It's not about expecting everything to go right. It's about believing that no matter what happens, you have the ability to figure it out. This belief fuels perseverance. It inspires others. It makes you the kind of person people want to follow because your energy brings calm, focus, and hope into every situation. Optimistic people aren't naive, they're empowered. They know that while they can't control every event, they can always control their effort and attitude. A strong mindset becomes magnetic. It attracts opportunities, builds trust, and inspires action, not just within yourself, but in everyone around you. People remember how you made them feel. If your presence brings calm, gratitude, and focus, you become a light in a world that often feels heavy. That light is contagious. It uplifts your team, strengthens your family, and deepens your relationships. So, protect your attitude like it's gold, because it is. Start your day by choosing gratitude. Meet each challenge with curiosity. And lead your life with optimism. That is how you build emotional strength, not just for yourself, but for everyone lucky enough to walk alongside you. In a world full of noise and negativity, your positive mindset is not just a gift, it's your greatest asset. In a world that's constantly shifting, adaptability is no longer just a helpful trait, it's a vital advantage. The people who rise to the top in any field aren't necessarily the strongest or the smartest. They're the ones most willing and able to adjust when the ground beneath them moves. Life rarely goes exactly as planned. Markets shift, relationships evolve, goals change, and unexpected challenges arise. In these moments, the ability to adapt separates those who grow from those who get stuck. It's not the rigid who thrive. It's the flexible, the curious, and the willing. Adaptability doesn't mean abandoning your values. In fact, the most adaptable people hold their principles even as they change their strategies. They understand that the path may need to shift, but the purpose stays rooted. They are guided by their inner compass, not paralyzed by external chaos. This kind of balance between stability and flexibility is what makes adaptability such a powerful force. You don't lose yourself in the change. You discover new layers of who you are by moving with it. To adapt well, you must begin with humility. It takes courage to admit that what worked yesterday might not work today. It takes maturity to say, I don't have all the answers, and curiosity to ask, what can I try instead? This mindset opens the door to innovation and learning. People who cling to outdated methods or rigid expectations often miss the very opportunities that could elevate them. Adaptable people, on the other hand, move with grace. They remain steady under pressure, not because they resist change, but because they expect it and prepare for it. Speed also matters. In an environment where timing is everything, those who wait too long to pivot often find themselves left behind. Adaptability means being quick but not reckless, ready to act but thoughtful in execution. When change comes, adaptable individuals don't freeze or fall into fear. They assess the new reality, make clear decisions, and take decisive action. This responsiveness builds confidence, not just in themselves, but in those who follow them. Leaders who adapt well create calm in chaos, because their flexibility brings clarity to the moment. Think of adaptability like water. It flows, it moves around obstacles, it carves through stone over time. Not with force, but with persistence and awareness. This is the kind of resilience that leads to long-term success. Rigid systems collapse under pressure. Fluid ones absorb the impact and keep moving forward. Whether you're facing a career transition, a family challenge, or a personal reinvention, your ability to adapt with integrity will determine your success. It's also a mindset you can cultivate. Start by viewing every unexpected situation as a training ground. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I respond better next time? Begin to release the need for things to go a certain way. Embrace curiosity over control. Build routines that support flexibility, regular reflection, ongoing learning, and honest evaluation of what's working. These practices create mental agility, emotional strength, and strategic thinking. At its core, adaptability is about power, the power to stay rooted in who you are while moving forward in an ever-changing world. It's the quiet confidence of knowing that no matter what happens, you will adjust, you will evolve, and you will keep going. In a world where change is the only constant, adaptability isn't just an advantage, it's the edge. In the pursuit of success, many chase personal achievement, titles, accolades, financial milestones. But the truth is, the most meaningful and lasting success comes from service. It's not just about how high you rise. It's about how many people you lift as you climb. The most respected and fulfilled individuals in history weren't just achievers, they were givers. They understood that real impact begins when your focus shifts from accumulation to contribution. When you use your time, energy, and resources to serve others, you create something far more powerful than personal gain. You build loyalty, legacy, and fulfillment. Service isn't about grand gestures or massive acts of charity. It's about intention. A small act of kindness can ripple farther than you realize. A handwritten note, a phone call to check in, offering your time or knowledge. These are seeds planted in the lives of others. Over time, they grow into trust, inspiration, and connection. Every time you extend yourself to help someone else, you make the world a little better. And you grow stronger in the process. Service shapes character. It grounds you in humility and reminds you of what really matters. In a world that often encourages self-promotion and individualism, those who choose to lead with service stand out. They become beacons of stability and care in times of noise and self-interest. They lead not just by example, but by empathy. People naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel seen, heard, and valued. Whether you're a manager, a parent, a mentor, or simply a friend, your willingness to serve determines the quality of your relationships and the strength of your influence. Some of the most enduring legacies were built on this principle. Think of leaders who changed communities not by demanding respect, but by earning it through service. Their impact didn't end when their careers did. It lived on in the people they empowered. The most successful teams, families, and communities are those built on mutual support. When people feel uplifted, they give more, they grow faster, and they stand stronger together. Serving others also transforms how you see your own success. Suddenly, it's not just about what you gain, but how you can use what you've gained to make a difference. The joy of contribution replaces the emptiness of constant comparison. You stop asking, what do I get out of this? And start asking, how can I help? That shift changes everything. It gives your efforts meaning and makes every success more rewarding because you know it's part of something bigger than yourself. Make service a part of your daily rhythm. Start small. Hold the door open. Share a kind word. Offer your expertise freely when someone is struggling. These acts might seem ordinary, but they build extraordinary bonds over time. As you grow in your career, in your relationships, and in your personal journey, let service be your compass. It won't just guide you to success. It will keep you fulfilled when you get there. Because in the end, no one remembers how many trophies you won or how busy your schedule was. They remember how you made them feel, how you showed up when it mattered, and how your presence lifted theirs. Serving others is not a detour from success. It's the very path to a life of significance. There comes a point in every life when the mirror stops lying. You look at yourself and know, deep down, you're capable of more. The future you want won't appear by accident. It won't knock on your door just because you hoped hard enough. It begins the moment you decide to take control. The power to rebuild, to redefine, and to rise. It's already within you. Too many people wait. They wait for the right time, the perfect mood, or someone else to believe in them. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. There is only now. The only difference between those who transform their lives and those who stay stuck is action. Real change doesn't come from wishing. It comes from doing, from taking one brave step, even when the road ahead is unclear. When you choose to act consistently and with intention, you begin to shift the entire direction of your life. Your mind sharpens, your energy changes. You stop being a victim of your past and become the author of your future. That's the power of decision. Not a fleeting burst of motivation, but a quiet, steady commitment to become the person you were always meant to be. Clarity doesn't arrive in a flash. It's built slowly through movement, through reflection, through momentum. Each day, you choose growth over comfort, you get clearer. Each time you show up when it's hard, you get stronger. Each time you resist excuses and follow through on your goals, your confidence expands. That's how transformation happens, not overnight, but moment by moment. Courage will be required, not because the path is impossible, but because fear and doubt will try to stop you. But fear only has power when you let it lead. If you act anyway, if you take the first step in spite of fear, you begin to reclaim your life. One action, one decision, one day at a time. You have a choice to make. Stay where you are or build the life you've imagined. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to start. Decide who you want to become, and then start becoming it. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Move toward it, even if all you have is one small step. Because when you commit fully, when you stop waiting and start building, life begins to respond. The right people show up. The right ideas emerge. The right opportunities find you. But none of that happens unless you move first. So let today be your turning point. Let this be the day you stop making excuses. Let this be the day you choose courage over comfort, action over delay, growth over fear. You've already survived the worst. Now it's time to build the best. The future isn't something you stumble into, it's something you shape. And the hands that shape it are yours. Your destiny is waiting. So rise, rebuild, and reclaim the life that belongs to you. Life is never too late to rebuild. One timely decision can change the entire course of your journey. As we reach middle age or our senior years, many people feel like they've missed the train. But the truth is, every new day is an opportunity to reinvent yourself. Not through miracles, but through clarity of purpose and steady determination. The most successful individuals aren't those who had more luck. They're the ones who are willing to start again, no matter their age. Whether you're 50, 60, or beyond, you still have the power to learn something new, strengthen your body, write that book, or simply live with deeper meaning. It begins with small shifts, waking up earlier to create quiet time for yourself, choosing to adapt instead of resist change, and anchoring your days in growth, service, and self-belief. When you center your life on contribution, continuous learning, and faith in your own worth, each day becomes more fulfilling. Remember, you're the author of your next chapter, and the pen is still in your hands.